What's up, everybody? I figured I would get on here and do a review of my Cloupor T6 that I bought a couple weeks ago after I've had a chance to use the device a little bit and get used to it and know how it runs and find out what coils I like to build on it and stuff. But obviously it is not in the box. I've been using it and I have already done my own wrap on it. Decided it needed a little bit of classing up, so. But anyway, I'll go ahead and get to the review. The box was really nice. Actually, the box that this came with is better than the box that my Note 3 came in. Surprisingly, no, not really. But nice wood grain finished box. A little bit of a user manual. Gives you your general what to do when and restrictions on the device. It does have a little section that gives you all your basic information you would need to know. All your specs. Output power you can set between 7 and 100 watts. The voltage, which it does your boosting, is 3.6 to 9.3. The highest I've ever had it read actually was about 8.3 volts is what it shows, but checked with a voltmeter, it doesn't really come out that high. The highest I've ever seen on a voltmeter is about a 5.9 or a 6 volts maybe, but it still hits really nicely. I found the ideal range from what I've experienced with it to be around the 60-75 watt mark, but atomizers you can do from a 0.2 to a 4 ohm, and typical on it, it says is 1.5. If you have a device like this, I don't see anybody really regularly using a 1.5 ohm, but takes pretty much any size battery you want to throw at it, all the way from the 26 650s. You can put 18 650s in there. They fit just nice, not hardly really any rattle or nothing, but usually if I'm using an 18 650 in the device, I put a sleeve on it just to make sure I don't have any of that rattle. But all in all, the device is really well made. It feels good in the hand. The interior of it is really nice and really clean. The springs are really well in for the battery cage. The negative wire, I don't know if you can see, is actually soldered to the bottom of the plate in the spring, so the spring doesn't pull all that resistance off its own. It's actually going straight into that negative line right on the bottom of the battery, and the top post is the same way. The positive actually sits soldered in right under the little bump on your top post. But I'm loving this mod so far. Like I said, 2 weeks in. The only issue I'm really having so far with it is the shape of the body. The door sits in a really awkward spot based on your RDA, and I get juice down in the door. It's not really a big issue. Just keep an eye on it and keep it cleaned out every now and then. As you can see, the door is extremely strong. The magnets will pull this thing from forever and a decade away, and they do not budge once it's on there. I mean, you literally have to slide it down to get it off. You can't just pull it off hardly. But anyway, on with the rest of this. The box it came in, everything was really nicely packaged. It comes with a USB little stretchy cable thing that you can, I don't really ever use it. I use a regular phone charger that I have, since it does charge the device internally on your battery or whatever you put in it with a regular micro USB. I've seen a lot of people ask also while I'm at it, they've seen the texture on the back of it and thought that was all battery venting. It's not. It's just little dimples that are there for texture. The battery vents through these little ports on the side and bottom, just to clear any of that confusion up. But it also does come with a screwdriver, which is to adjust your 510 connection, which I haven't really needed to do, honestly. I've had about 15 different RDAs on this and haven't had to adjust that 510 but once, I think, for a clone Russian 91 that I was trying out, and it was a very minuscule adjustment, like a quarter turn on that 510, and it was firing away. It does come with a little spare parts kit, which is kind of a pain to get open, but it comes with 3 spare 510 screws and 4 extra magnets for your door in case you somehow lose one, which is kind of nice, but I glued mine in there pretty good and they are not moving. Just make sure you have your polarities on your magnets right. I had a big ordeal with that because I could not get the magnets back out of the door. The glue I used is kind of ridiculously stupid strong, but I ended up being able to boil it and get it out. Anyway, with the box and packaging contents out of the way, go ahead and move on to the device itself. The buttons feel really nice. Minimum button rattle. I mean, the fire button has a little bit of rattle, but the other two practically none at all. They click really nice, which is a big thing for me. I love clicky buttons. Make you feel like you've got a little bit more of a well-made device. And obviously you've got your 3 buttons. This one changes your down setting for your wattage. The other one is up, and then you got fire. It's pretty much standard across all of them now. As far as the display goes, it's actually an extremely useful display. You have a battery percentage right there. The little sphere right here is actually kind of redundant. That's about the only thing that I've seen weird so far. That's also your battery percentage. It's got 10 little pips that go around it, and every time it drops that 10% mark off, one of those pips just disappears. Seems kind of pointless, but it shows what wattage you're running at now, which where I was clicking it, it goes up and down, but response is really, really good on this device. The other stuff you have is you do have a puff counter on the bottom. Right above that is the temperature of the circuitry on the board inside of it. If it does get over 60 Celsius, it will shut down. I've had it honestly set. I'm running a 0.3 dual parallel right now on my little boy, and I have, at 100 watts chaining, I've not seen it probably get higher than, I don't know, 54, 55 might be as the highest I've seen it. One good thing a lot of them don't do is if you pull the battery, your puff counter gets reset, but as you can see, it's still showing where I have it at because I haven't reset it in a very long time. But if you pull it out, pull your battery, and then put it back in, I really like the startup screen on this as well. A little matrix effect going on to reveal it. But your puff counter does stay, so you can keep track of it a little easier. If you do want to reset your puff counter, hold fire and adjust up for 5 seconds. It's going to reset that back to 0. But like I said, the wattage, it does scale really fast once it starts moving. Up and down as well. Adjustment is in 0.1 watt increments. But the other things you can do with your buttons on here is if you push and hold both buttons for your 5 seconds, what that's going to do is lock the power, so you can't make any adjustments to your wattages. So if you're just carrying it around, you don't want to have it accidentally bumped up on you or down on you, but it still will let the device fire with power locked. The other thing you can do is it has a what's called stealth mode, and what that is hold fire and you're adjust down at the same time for 5 seconds, and it will put the device in stealth mode, so when you let off of it, your screen goes off even when you're firing. And to get back out of that, just same thing, hold both of them for 5 seconds and it'll kick back into normal. Go ahead and unlock it again. Trying to think what else I need to go over in this video. It's really hard to make a review on a device that just works so well. Like I said, I haven't had hardly any issues with it other than the juice getting in the door, and that is a very, very minor issue. But I guess I will show you all how it vapes. Dripping my own juice on here right now in that parallel dual. And that is right where I left it, where it was sitting when I was playing with the wattage, is at 64.3. And like I said, ideally this device, I feel like it shines between the 50 and 70 watt range. I don't feel like it gives you the extra warmth going any higher than 70 or so. And if that's as high as you really need to go, why waste the battery life pushing it at the full 100 or whatever? But this is at 70 watts. Vape's amazing. Very cold vapor, especially with the little boy on top of it. But the setup does run you through juice really fast, which is one of the reasons why I make my own. Not to mention I can hold a ton of juice in here on this RDA, especially the way I have it wicked. There will also be a video of how I built this exact coil going up. It's a little bit longer, but it does go fully in depth on exactly how to build it. I go over some of the what not to do's, what to do's, tips and tricks on building a coil of this style, which gives you quite a bit of surface area of coil. And it absolutely just spits like a champ. But other than that, I really can't think of anything else to go over in this video, so I will leave you all to it, and I'm going to make a couple more pulls first. If you're around in the Kentucky area, you ought to check out a few of our couple local brick and mortars. I'm from Georgetown. We do have one here in Georgetown called Blowing Vapors, and they are right over off Osborne Way by the Walmart Shopping Center. It's right behind the Fifth Third Bank right there, and across from Gold Star. Great staff, great people there. If you're in town, you got to go check them out. We also have two in Lexington that I know of. We have Alt Smoke, which is right off of Nicholasville Road off by Fayette Mall. And then we have 723 Vapors, which I have to give a shout out to Alan. I'll be in there again tomorrow if you're watching this video or if you happen to see it. I got to check out that new box you've been working on. Alan builds box mods. He has his own line of 3F boxes, and I haven't had the opportunity to get in there to try one of these new boxes he's got going on, but from what everybody says, those things are absolute monsters. I'm looking forward to get to try one out with this setup I've got going on, this little boy. But definitely stop by if you're local or if you're nearby. Make the drive. The people at all three shops are amazing. Great staff, great help if you need help building a coil, if you need some extra air holes drilled in one of your RDAs, if you need a new mouthpiece, you need Canthal, juice, it doesn't matter. They've got you covered, all three of them. But stop by and check them out. With that, I will let y'all go. Take it easy.